The sun burned low over the red mesas of Arizona, spilling its last orange light across the cracked earth of Fort Madison. Dust swirled in the air, mixed with the smell of sweat, gun oil, and whiskey. The town had gathered at the square like vultures, drawn by something that felt half curiosity, half shame. The wooden stage was rough-built, a platform for pride and humiliation both. Sheriff Dalton stood beside it, his boots dust-caked and eyes dull. He didn't like what he was about to witness, but law and money ruled stronger than his conscience. A man named Curtis Boyd, the ranch trader, stood near the front, cigar dangling from his lips as he announced the start of the auction. "We got 6 prisoners from the Apache raids," he barked, his voice echoing through the murmuring crowd. "Government's letting 'em go to settlers for work labor. Fair trade. Keep your properties safe, your homes clean. Let's start the bidding." Men with rifles leaned on fence posts. Women whispered from the shade. Children stared wide-eyed. Then came the first man, a young Apache with fire still burning in his eyes. He was sold quick. The second, older, was weak and broken. Sold too, then came her. She was the smallest among them. Maybe 18, maybe younger. No one could tell. Her wrists were bound with rope, her hair long and tangled, her eyes downcast. Her dress was torn, the fabric faded but modest. She didn't look at the crowd. She just stood there, like a ghost carved from desert wind. Curtis cleared his throat. "This one here's quiet. Works hard, don't talk much. Half price since she don't speak English." He grinned, expecting laughter, but none came. The crowd shifted awkwardly. The girl didn't move. A few men spat in the dirt. One muttered, "Don't need no savage girl in my house." Another said, "She looks cursed." Someone laughed, a short, ugly sound. The bidding never started. Silence hung heavy, thicker than dust. Curtis coughed again. "Half price, gentlemen. She'll make fine work in the kitchen," but still no hand rose. From the edge of the crowd, a cowboy stood leaning against a post, his hat pulled low. He had a slow way about him, like a man who'd seen too much and spoke too little. His name was Luke Carver, a ranch hand from Silver Creek. Folks called him Lonesome Luke, because he never stayed anywhere long. He'd lost his brother to the Apache wars and his wife to fever. Pain had turned him quiet, but not cruel. He watched the girl and felt something twist inside him, a strange recognition, like looking at another soul marked by loss. When Curtis finally gave up and started to pull her from the stage, Luke's voice broke the silence. "I'll take her." The crowd turned. Curtis blinked. "You sure, mister?" I said I'll take her," Luke repeated, his tone flat but steady. He reached into his coat and dropped a few gold coins into the dust. "Half price, right?" Curtis grinned wide now, nodding fast. "Half price, yes, sir." He cut the rope and handed the girl's wrist to Luke. She didn't flinch, didn't resist, didn't even look up. The people whispered as they walked past. "Fool cowboy," someone muttered. "She'll cut his throat by sunrise." Luke didn't answer. He just led her down the dusty road toward his horse, a tired old Palomino. "You got a name?" he asked quietly, though he didn't expect an answer. The girl said nothing. Her silence was like the desert, wide and endless. Luke sighed, helped her onto the horse and climbed behind. The ride to his ranch was long. The wind howled over the plains, carrying the distant cry of coyotes. When they reached the small cabin by the creek, Luke dismounted and pointed. "You can stay here. Ain't much, but it's safe." She stood there, still as a statue. He gave her water, bread, and a blanket. That night, she sat by the fire while he worked outside, mending fences under the pale moon. Inside, she stared at the flames, memories flashing in her mind. Her village burning, her brother falling, soldiers shouting, her mother's last breath. Tears welled but never fell. She had forgotten how to cry. Days passed in silence. Luke would head out to the fields at dawn, return at dusk, and she would have the fire going, food ready. She worked like a shadow, quiet, efficient, always distant. He learned her rhythms, the way she moved softly, her care with animals, her eyes always scanning the horizon like someone waiting for something that would never return. Once he caught her humming in Apache under her breath while tending the fire. The sound broke the stillness of the cabin like a prayer. Luke didn't understand the words, but he felt their sorrow. One evening, a group of riders appeared at the ranch. 3 men from town, drunk and loud, Curtis Boyd among them. "Luke!" he called, swaying on his horse. "We came to see how your little savage girl's doing. Thought maybe we could trade back. Maybe she's worth more now, eh?" The men laughed. Luke's hand went to his revolver. "You best ride on," he said quietly. "Ain't no trade here." Curtis grinned, but there was venom in it. "Careful now, cowboy. Folks might start thinking you're turning soft on her kind." Luke stepped forward. I said, "Ride on." The men's laughter died. They saw the look in his eyes, the kind of look that didn't bluff. They turned their horses, muttering as they rode off into the dusk. That night, the girl finally spoke. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Why, you helped me?" Luke looked up from the fire, surprised. It was the first time he'd heard her speak. "Didn't seem right leaving you there," he said simply. She nodded once, slowly. "My name, Ayana." The name rolled softly like wind through canyon walls. "Ayana," he repeated, as if learning something sacred. For the first time she looked up at him, and in her eyes he saw not fear but a quiet strength, something unbroken. Outside, the desert slept under 1,000 stars, and though neither spoke again, the silence between them no longer felt empty. It felt like the start of something neither of them understood yet, a fragile bridge between 2 worlds scarred by the same pain.